I'm not going to sit here and ask the heavens why I'm the one so many people want a chance at. AJ Styles warned me after I beat him what this title was going to mean. And what it means is the Blade Runners can't scare me. I'll be out here every day. Jay White can send his goons at me every goddamn time for all I care. I will never relinquish this title. But don't you think even for a second that I'll run away from anyone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wednesday Night Storm. This is the final episode before GAW Afterparty, a pay-per-view quality card at, one single episode. And now, here comes a representative of Team Kick. And I cannot help but smile when I watch these two, Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai. It is really incredible what these two women have been through and have pushed through with their injury history and the fact that other promotions gave up on them because of their injuries. And now you look at their attitude and where they are right now in GAW. It's really amazing to watch. And Tegan Nox will get her shot against a legend of the GAW Women's Division to open tonight's Wednesday Night Storm. And that legend is the current GAW Women's Champion, Asuka. This is the first time we've seen her since her successful defense of that belt at Bash at the Beach, and you can just hear the roar of the fans for the Women's World Champion. And Asuka's that type of person that we don't need to see her every week. You know, we see Samoa Joe all the time, and Joe, of course, has been just an unbelievable champion in his own right, what he's done. But Asuka is almost so intimidating, so just mind-bogglingly incredible at this sport that it's almost like her presence is here, whether she's here or not. Either way, the Women's World Champion is opening Wednesday Night Storm against half of Team Kick, Tegan Nox. I am excited for this matchup. Let's get it rolling. Nox versus Asuka on a 10-minute time limit to start things off. And you can see Asuka, she wrestles so many different styles. She's proficient at so much. And against Charlotte Flair, she was patient. She took all the advantages that she needed to. And here against Tegan Nox, she has started off hot as a meteor, like she needs to, against someone with the energy, the speed, and the pace of Tegan Nox. Asuka, of course, has held this belt for over a year. And, well, I mean, I don't know if anybody can dethrone her. Oh, look at this. Tegan Nox rolls up the champ. Asuka kicks out. Well, I can tell you who's planning on it is Team Kick. At least one of the two members. Asuka misses with that flying back heel kick and gets caught in an exploder from Nox. They call her Lady Kane, and hopefully we'll see why throughout the course of this match. The knee connects from Asuka, and Nox hit with the Empress hip attack. Is that it for the challenger from Team Kick? Tegan Nox kicks out. Great resilience from Nox, but it could be over here. Asuka, I think, looking for the Asuka lock, and Nox wisely gets her way out of it and hits the champ with a drop kick. Wow, Tegan Nox, this is the first time we've seen her in ring in about 5 months, I think. She's been dealing with complications from an ACL surgery. You can see the brace still there on her right knee. And like I mentioned when they were making their entrance, these two women have been through so much, Nox and Kai. And to see them with the energy they have, the attitude that they have, and now to see them wrestling at their best is really incredible. You just can't say enough good things about these two women. Everything that they've done, and I hope that they will both have very long and successful careers here in GAW, but it will take a special performance to dethrone this champion. Tegan Nox hoping to put one in this match. Now, after the Tree of Woe, after the stomp, going for the pin on the champ. 1, 2, and Asuka kicks out. Speaking of champion, we can confirm our main event for Afterparty. Samoa Joe will take on Drew McIntyre for the GAW World Championship. That will be in the main event. That is following Drew McIntyre's pin of Aleister Black last episode of Wednesday Night Storm. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. That was a tremendous tag team match. It saw Samoa Joe kicking out of 2 triple power bombs. And now he will be tested against another member of the Blade Runners. Samoa Joe, of course, fought off Jay White at Bash at the Beach. And now Nox from the top rope with the Meteora, and Asuka able to get out of the way, but there's Kai helping her friend, picking Nox back up so Nox can get back in the ring. The fact that Nox has even lasted this long with the women's champion. You remember how I said if you watched the Go Home show to Bash at the Beach, you will remember that Asuka, and now, wow, Tegan Nox German suplex with the release. You will remember that Asuka, we went through her reign by the numbers. Oh my God, Tegan Nox with the shiniest wizard. Well, I was going to talk about Asuka's title reign by the numbers, but Tegan Nox may have just pinned the women's champion. Asuka kicks out of the shiniest wizard. Wow. Incredible. Anyway, what I was going to say was, if you remember, we talked about Asuka's record-breaking title reign by the numbers. Her average title defense takes 4 minutes and 17 seconds. So Tegan Nox has gone more than that, and now choke slam on the women's champ. That's why they call her Lady Kane. Wow, Asuka, I don't know if she was expecting this kind of fight from Tegan Nox, and Nox hits the stomp. Curb stomp from Nox. I've never seen her pull that one out, but Nox looking to end things for the women's champion. Shiniest wizard again. 2 shiniest wizards and a choke slam. Tegan Nox going to pin the champ. 3, Tegan Nox has done it. Tegan Nox from Team Kick, she's pinned the world champion.
Here is your winner, Team.
Oh, I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. Tegan Nox has pinned the world champion. Wow. Wow, this is incredible. Dakota Kai letting Tegan Nox have her moment. Wow, I can't believe this. One of the most anticipated matchups of tonight is coming up next, and I will try to collect myself after this result.
Did you ever see a wild goose sailing o'er the ocean?
Well, this is one of the most, probably the most anticipated match coming into tonight, and I have done my best to collect myself after that absolutely shocking result that we just saw Tegan Nox pinning the Women's World Champion Asuka. But we do have to turn our attentions to this match, because this is going to be a special match in its own right, as the Pirate King Edward Jack takes on Suicide, as Suicide makes his singles debut in GAW. These are 2 men that I never thought we would see in general admission wrestling. And this match was announced 2 weeks ago prior to Afterparty, and I am so excited to see what these two men can do. Two guys that are going to be looking to prove themselves here in general admission wrestling among a stacked roster. And this is the way to do it in a high-profile match against a high-profile opponent. Joining the Pirate King in the ring tonight is that man, Suicide, a TNA Impact legend, former TNA X Division champion. And Suicide, if you don't know the history, Suicide was a character in the TNA Impact video game back from 2009, I believe it was. And no, I take that back. It was actually 2008. And he was shortly thereafter introduced as a real life. He came to life in TNA. And he has been a fan favorite and a legend ever since, and he is now here in GAW. Wow, so much fun to be had in this match between these two men. Edward Jack, of course, we announced a couple weeks ago that the Pirate King has signed a 3-year deal to stay in GAW, and now Jack, modified Codebreaker. We announced that during his win over former Intercontinental Champion Adam Cole. Jack getting things started off fast here with snap suplex. And we can confirm that Suicide has also signed a 3-year non-exclusive deal in general admission wrestling. So he will be, I can confirm he will be splitting his time between GAW and TNA Impact. So for those of you that are big Impact fans, fear not, you will still be seeing Suicide on your screens. And for those of you that are GAW fans, first of all, thank you for being here. Subscribe if you haven't. Tell your friends to subscribe here on General Admission Wrestling. And hopefully you will enjoy seeing Suicide for what we hope is a long time. Meanwhile, these two men getting things started off fast. I'm actually amazed at myself that I can even talk about this match given what we saw between Asuka and Tegan Knox last match. Tegan Knox, I mean, you want to talk about, let's talk about how big that was, because that wasn't, I know that wasn't for the belt, but let's talk about how big of a deal it is. Now Suicide going for the pin here on Pirate King, sorry. Jack kicks out at one. Let's talk about how big of a deal it is that Tegan Knox pinned the women's champion clean. That is the first time I have seen the women's champion be pinned clean in over a year, okay? That is how big that is, all right? Even Charlotte Flair did not pin Asuka clean. And now Suicide was going up top looking for a standing Hurricane Rana. Just eats a power bomb. Edward Jack looking to get things started. Classic Gamagiri from Jack. I think all of us here in GAW, all of you fans, there will be things about Edward Jack that you will come to love. He is beloved all over the world. If you haven't seen his debut match with Adam Cole, that was back in episode 17. Go check that out. Jack dropping Suicide onto the top turnbuckle. And now Edward Jack back into the corner. He didn't connect with this against Cole. Maybe he will now. Maelstrom! And Suicide ducks it. It looks like these guys knew more about Edward Jack coming in than Jack maybe anticipated. Maelstrom has put away many, many men, including a legend of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi, whom Edward Jack beat in a classic match. Dave Meltzer awarded that 4.5 stars. That was a couple years ago. Jack versus Tanahashi, and Jack put away the ace with the Maelstrom, and now Suicide with a beautiful rolling Death Valley driver, trying to put away the Pirate King with that move. 2, 3. Suicide puts away the Pirate King with a beautiful Suicide solution. And that is what he has changed that move to. That's a name that you've probably heard. But here in GAW, the Suicide solution. A beautiful rolling Death Valley driver. And the Pirate King suffers his first loss as part of GAW. Suicide starts his GAW singles career off with a win. And what does this mean for Suicide going forward in the Cruiserweight division? Of course, we'll see Buddy Murphy versus Sin Cara next week for the Cruiserweight title. And Suicide could be lurking here with a big win over the Pirate King. Coming up next is another match in the women's division, as the other half of Team Kick will try to collect herself after her teammate pinned the women's champion. Dakota Kai versus Charlotte Flair is next. Well, Dakota Kai was just out here not too long ago, and she watched her teammate pin the GAW Women's World Champion. And she is back with Tegan Nox. Nox has had a change. And if this doesn't show you everything you need to know about these two, Tegan Nox is coming off the biggest win of her life. Make no mistake, it wasn't a title match, but it's against a bona fide legend of GAW. And Nox is coming off a huge win, and she is still out here to support Dakota Kai, as Kai faces off with a former World Championship challenger in Charlotte Flair. This is going to be a great match. I am absolutely positive. Can Dakota Kai keep the momentum going as we see Charlotte Flair for the first time since Bash at the Beach? And we welcome the Queen to the ring. For the first time since Bash at the Beach, Charlotte Flair suffered a heartbreaking loss to Women's World Champion Asuka in a steel cage submission match at Bash at the Beach. Let's take a look back as Charlotte Flair locked in the figure 8 not once but twice in the match. Both times Asuka was able to get out of one of the most dangerous submission holds in the world, and Charlotte Flair eventually succumbed to the cross arm breaker. Not something we always see Asuka pull out, but she needed it for that match. So we're seeing the Queen for the first time since then, trying to get back on track with a win over a high-flying Team Kick. Let's get to the match. Well, Dakota Kai looking to make her teammate proud. Trying to start off fast against the Queen, but Charlotte Flair not having any of that. I don't know if we're in for the same pace of match that we saw between Nox and Asuka, but certainly Charlotte Flair is as experienced as they come in the GAW women's division. And now, oh, Jesus! Flattens Kai with that massive chop. I'm shocked that Kai can even get up after that. But it just shows you the resilience of both members of Team Kick. And I really need to make my just awe of these two women known even more, especially after what Tegan Nox just did to open tonight's show, and she's still back out here supporting Dakota Kai in this match. It's really incredible. And Kai was out there cheering on Tegan Nox every step of the way. This is amazing what these two women have done, what they are doing. It's really incredible. And now Kai has Charlotte Flair up on the top rope. Hurricane Rana from the top. Terrific athletes are these women, as well as everything else. And now Kai going for the pin. Charlotte Flair kicks out. Now, we've talked about legends. Asuka being one, Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai hoping in the future to be legends of the GAW women's division. But if there is a Hulk Hogan, spear from Charlotte. If there is a Hulk Hogan of the GAW women's division, if there is a Babe Ruth of the GAW women's division, Charlotte going for the pin, Kai kicks out. It is Lita, and we are so happy to announce that Lita, the longest reigning women's champion in the history of general admission wrestling, will be returning at GAW Afterparty. She has a big announcement to make, and we will hear it at Afterparty, and we are so excited to have Lita back. Meanwhile, Dakota Kai has fought off Charlotte Flair brilliantly after that spear, and Flair just utter disrespect for this member of Team Kick. So you want to talk movement in the women's division. I mean, we haven't seen the women very much since Bash at the Beach. Actually, we haven't seen them at all, but what a return for the division tonight. Now Charlotte Flair in control of Dakota Kai on the outside here. Tegan Nox can do nothing but watch as Kai being picked apart by one of the most experienced members of GAW, male or female. Charlotte Flair now tossing Nox into the barricade, and Flair certainly knows how to get the upper hand in a match like this against a woman as athletic, as passionate as Dakota Kai is. You have to grind her down, you have to remove that energy from her, and Charlotte Flair knows exactly what she needs to do. And she did it right there on the outside, but Dakota Kai catches the kick attempt from Flair, rolls her into a single leg crab, and immediately the referee is there to signal rope break, but Kai is going to push the pace of this match even further, coming off the ropes. Chiropractor to Charlotte Flair, but that's awfully close to the ropes. Charlotte Flair not reaching out. 2, 3. Dakota Kai makes it 2 for 2 for Team Kick. Oh, wow. Just like that. I talked about the athleticism of Dakota Kai. Charlotte Flair did everything she could to work Kai over and not allow her to turn the pace of the match like that. But there is nothing you can do with a woman as athletic, as fast as Dakota Kai is. And what a night this is for Team Kick. In less than half an hour, both of the women who were in the co-main event of Bash at the Beach have gone down to Team Kick members. Here is the chiropractor that put Charlotte Flair away. Flair just did not have enough to kick out, and Dakota Kai has pinned the former Women's World Championship challenger. Tegan Nox has pinned the former Women's World Champion. It's a Team Kick takeover right now on GAW. This is incredible. And we have our main event up next. Matt Hardy, after winning the Rumble on the Beach, challenges Kofi Kingston for the Intercontinental Championship. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening, and we are going to get right to it. Matt Hardy shockingly won the Rumble on the Beach from number 8. And he earned an Intercontinental Championship title match in winning that event. And he is using it here against Kofi Kingston, opting not to use it at Afterparty. And this is a different side to Matt Hardy. All we've heard from him since his win at the Rumble on the Beach were those few words that he said to Kofi Kingston last week, challenging him to this match, and now no emotion from Matt Hardy as he makes his way to the ring, trying to capture his first GAW singles title. Of course, he's held tag team gold before with his brother Jeff, who is nowhere to be seen, by the way. Matt Hardy challenges for the Intercontinental Championship in our main event. And the man he will be taking on is fan favorite and one of my favorites, Kofi Kingston. He won this Intercontinental Championship all the way back in episode 2. If I need to remind you, we are now in episode 19. Kofi Kingston has held this title for 3 months. I take it back, he's held it for 4 months now. The Intercontinental Champion. Kofi Kingston has been incredible with this belt, but I sense he is in for a different kind of challenge against Matt Hardy. Let's get straight to this title match. No time limit for this championship match, as is customary for GAW title matches. We will have a champion when this is all said and done. Also a 10-second countout being enforced. So we want these men to stay in the ring as well to find a new champion. Now Matt Hardy, this is a guy who traditionally, always in GAW, he's been very happy, he's been talkative. He's been a guy that fans have really rallied around, and for good reason, but you know, ever since he's had a tough run of form as a singles competitor, he's gone 0-3 since Nitro 9, and of course the Hardy Boys crashed out of the Intercontinental. Ricochet's here. Ricochet at the top of the entrance ramp. You want to talk about a changed man? What is Ricochet doing? Matt Hardy comes behind Kofi Kingston, rolls him up. Handful of tights. Hardy trying to pin the champion. Kingston kicks out. Kingston avoids that one, but Hardy with the spinning heel kick. Now Hardy on top of this match. Ricochet, you can see, has made his way into Matt Hardy's corner. So I think we're meant to understand that Ricochet is going to spend the rest of his match in Matt Hardy's corner. But wow, you want to talk about a changed individual, Ricochet. Ricochet won the Cruiserweight Championship from the Bastard Pack at Nitro 9, and since then has gone 0-4 as a singles competitor. 2 losses to Sin Cara, a loss to Buddy Murphy, and then a loss in his first defense to Pac, the man he won it from. And then he crashed out of Rumble on the Beach. Hardy up top looking for the moonsault. Kingston got the knees up. So Ricochet, another guy who, clean as a whistle, happy-go-lucky guy, one of the most charismatic individuals in GAW, both when he won the title as Ricochet and then when he was masked and going by the name Prince Puma. But this is a different side of Ricochet that we've never seen before. Seemingly willing to bend the rules a little bit here. And why is he helping out Matt Hardy? That's the real question. Ricochet now getting into it with Kofi Kingston. It's not like the champ to be distracted so easily, but Ricochet knows what he needs to do to help out Hardy. And Kingston forced to roll out of the ring. Quickly back in, and with the trouble in paradise, just like that. Wow, you want to talk about the athleticism of Kofi Kingston, but he doesn't even go for the pin off of that. Oh, maybe he should have. Hardy able to land the reverse DDT. And now Hardy going for a pin on the champ. Kingston kicks out. But both Hardy and Ricochet, well, what they have in common is they've had a pretty tough go over the last couple months. And is this two kindred spirits that have found each other here in GAW, trying to help Hardy capture his first singles title in general admission wrestling? I don't know. These are two men that traditionally have been very talkative, very active with fans and the media, but we've heard almost nothing from either of them. Very uncharacteristic from these two. Matt Hardy, by the way, has really taken advantage ever since Ricochet got himself involved. Kingston fights out of the corner, and with the teardrop suplex, Kingston getting himself fired up, and with good reason, going to the top rope, but Matt Hardy is up. Kingston didn't see Hardy there, and Kingston very lucky to get himself off the top. Wow, look at that flurry of moves from the champ. You want to talk about a man that's been resilient, and once again, Ricochet distracting the champ, and Hardy pulls him down. Hardy once again in control. You want to talk about a resilient champion, it has been Kofi Kingston, 5-1 since Nitro. And now Hardy looking to end Kingston's championship reign, and Kofi will be able to hang on to it for just that much longer. I think Hardy was looking for the twist of fate, and Kingston wisely catches the boot. Kingston catches his breath and now looking to put the match away. Trouble in Paradise. Hardy out of the way of that one. And Matt Hardy answers with a side effect. Going for the pin now. Ricochet fired up in the corner. 2, 3. Matt Hardy has pinned Kofi Kingston. Matt Hardy has won the Intercontinental Championship with a lot of help from Ricochet. And what could this mean? Well, it means that Hardy is the Intercontinental Champion, but what does it mean for Ricochet? Are these two aligned in some way? There's so many unanswered questions. And Matt Hardy, what we do know, the one answer we do have is Matt Hardy is leaving Wednesday Night Storm as Intercontinental Champion. Well, all I can tell you right now is hopefully some questions will be answered at Afterparty.
Next episode is GAW Afterparty, a pay-per-view quality card.
The world has changed. The world has changed. Welcome to a new era.